Niggas talking shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club, dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an x-ray. Let me explain.
What's going on, fight fans? It's another great day when you love MMA. Welcome back to episode 3 on Matty's Fight Talk with Mad Matty himself out here in Vancouver, Washington, live. Let's get right into it. One championship this past weekend, put on a killer fight card. They had Demetrious Johnson fighting Adriano Moraes for the championship. If you're not familiar, Demetrious Johnson came over from the UFC. He's one of the most dominant flyweight champions of all time. He's had 11 title defenses in the UFC. Most people know him for that nasty takedown to armbar he had on Ray Borg. So, I mean, if you haven't seen that, you should look it up too, because that is a killer highlight. Regardless, though, it was a good fight. Moraes kept a distance. He used leg kicks, and he was a tough grappler. It was more surprising than I thought when they were on the ground. DJ looked like he was struggling because the guy looked like he was incredibly strong. I'm not too familiar with Moraes, but if you're matching him against Demetrious Johnson, I got to give you respect. So I honestly thought DJ was going to destroy him. You know, I thought it was going to be an easy win for him, but that's just me being a fan. You know, I'm like, what do I know, right? The dude came in prepared. Towards the end of the second round, Moraes caught him with a nasty left hook and dropped him. While they were in an exchange on the ground, DJ's, I think he was going in for a takedown, and he just got cleaned with a knee, knocked out cold, pounded out, and Moraes got the W, holding on to the belt. That was a killer fight. I've never seen Demetrious Johnson in trouble like that. It was incredible. It was a good fight up until the very end. It was very technical. I was surprised how technical Moraes was fighting. He was fighting really smart. He was using his range because he was clearly the way bigger fighter in that matchup. DJ looked like he was struggling to get on the inside. He was getting tagged on the outside a little bit. I mean, it was a good fight. It was a good matchup. I mean, honestly, I'm not mad either way. It was unbelievable. It's really hard to see that because I couldn't believe, you know, like one of the most dominant UFC fighters goes to one championship where I thought he was just going to be superior. And, you know, it just goes to show that the UFC might not have all of the talent. You know, ONE FC is no joke. If you guys aren't familiar with ONE Championship, they're out of Japan. They have tons of killer fighters. They do Muay Thai fights, kickboxing fights, and MMA fights. We're from Hawaii, so you got to throw the shout out. You know, Christian Lee, Angela Lee, and their younger sister, excuse me for not knowing her name, but I don't even want to get it wrong. Their younger sister, they're all beasts. I believe Christian and Angela are both champions at ONE Championship. So, you know, hold it down for the 808. That's what's up. Not only do they put Hawaii fighters on, their rules are way different. It's super interesting. So, although that knockout was unbelievable, I think it's getting more views than it normally would because it was to Demetrious Johnson. There's knockouts like that all the time at ONE FC. Their rules are crazy. You can knee people in the face on the ground like you saw. You can soccer kick people in the head on the ground. You can curb stomp people. You can do toe locks. It's crazy. They can do all kinds of crap. Rules are a lot different. It's a lot different. But the one rule that stays the same in most organizations is you can't punch in the back of the head. Which leads me to my next segment. Eddie Alvarez, you dirty guy. When are you ever going to learn? This guy can't stop doing illegal strikes. I don't understand it. You go from the UFC, doing it to Poirier twice, then you go to ONE, and you get DQ'd. They literally red carded you like a soccer game, dude. It was insane. So Eddie Alvarez is fighting. Him and his guy go to the ground, right? He takes the dude down. He has him in like what looked like a leg triangle. You know, he's in a dominant position. The dude covers his face like this. And so Eddie just starts blindly just railing this guy right to the back of the head, just hard. The ref literally tells him, hey, not to the back of the head. Eddie's like, what? It's the ear. And just keeps hitting the guy. And the ref's like, not to the back of the head. The dude just lays there because he's getting hit in the back of the head. He ends up laying down flat. Eddie hammer fists him twice. The ref comes in and stops it. He's like, hey, man, you know, I told you not to the back of the head, blah, blah, blah. Boom, DQ, throws up a red card. I didn't know they do that in ONE Championship. Apparently, it's like they do the soccer rules. But yeah, so long story short, Eddie Alvarez loses by disqualification. Eddie Alvarez then goes on to say that he didn't hit the guy in the back of the head. If you go and look at the fight, watch the replay, he punches him 7 times right in the back of the head. I mean, maybe the first 2 were to the ear. Maybe, even though the guy's ear was on your cheek, so you'd be punching your own self in the face. I don't understand. Like, why you can't just listen to the ref and follow the rules. You can do almost anything in ONE. You can kick the guy in the face on the ground. It's flabbergasting. It really is. It's not just because he did it in one championship and yeah, you DQ'd somebody, you punch him in the back of the head. I know what a lot of people are thinking. Who cares, bro? It's a fight. What do you matter? I mean, the rules are rules. They have small amounts of rules, and you can't even follow the simple ones they do have. When the man was fighting in the UFC, the first time he fought Dustin Poirier, really good fight. They were going at it. Dustin's against the cage, hands down on the ground, downed opponent. Eddie Alvarez doesn't even think twice and knees him in the face. Not once, 3 times. Ends up getting DQ'd. The crowd's booing him. Dustin Poirier, being the great guy that he is, don't boo this man, he's a warrior. Yeah, he's a warrior who cheats. He's a dirty fighter. Because the second time they fought, Eddie Alvarez is a beast. He's in dominant position again. He has him fully mounted against the cage, where Poirier is sitting against the cage. He's in his lap. He can do almost anything he wants at that point. He's in a really dominant position. His coaches, for whatever reason, are yelling at him to throw a downward elbow. You can see the guy right here. Throw the elbow. Eddie's like, yeah, and throws the elbow. Herb Dean, or I don't even remember who the ref was. I just always go at Herb Dean. He's my guy. But the ref steps in. He's like, dude, that was a 6-12. Like, that's illegal strike. You can't do 6-12. They take a point away, and he rightfully gets knocked out in like the following sequence. Just gets destroyed. Dustin Poirier ends up winning, which he should have, because, you know, the guy can't refrain from doing illegal strikes. It's not that I have anything against Eddie Alvarez. I enjoy watching the guy fight. When he always brings it. It's not when he brings it. He always brings it. Win or lose, he's a tough, durable guy. Great fighter. Dirty ass fighter. Come on, bro. Like, come on. 3 fights. You're throwing 6-12 elbows. You're kneeing people in the face that are downed opponents. Then you're punching people in the back of the head and arguing with the ref about it. I don't understand this guy. I just don't get it. Sorry. I don't understand. Eddie's a crazy guy. But, you know, rules are rules. You got to follow them. And, you know, he breaks them all the time. But it is what it is. You know, I just want to say, one championship. They're one of the better fight organizations that I watch. They have some highly talented dudes. And they put on freaking great fights. They have crazy knockouts, super good fights. These guys are insanely durable. It's like a video game is how some of these fights go. So I would highly recommend looking up when the next fight card is going to be. And probably checking it out, man. It's definitely worth watching. I don't know if they're going to be on TNT more, but that's where they had their fights this last time. So hopefully they continue to do that. I just want to give you guys a quick thank you, man, for checking me out. Go hit me with a like and subscribe, please. Episode 4 will be on the way shortly. I'm going to do a little Bellator, breakdown of what I saw with the Ryan Bader versus Machida 2. And I want to give Nainoa Dung a quick shout out because he got the W. In his 5th Bellator fight. He fought a freaking great fight, but I'll go into that in the next video. Thanks you guys for supporting, man.
Haters talking shit, yeah, they bread stank. Walk up in the club dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an x-ray.